Surprise, surprise, you're hearing somebody actually this time, huh? This is TeslaTech, Wave on a String app, and I'm going to be demonstrating one of the frequencies I found that are tuned in pretty close. This thing is really touchy, and I'll be going over that in some other videos. But right now, I'm going to run it at the lowest input level that there is, 0.01 cm. I guess the centimeters. I don't know why they're using that. This is going to be running for a while, so I'm going to pause it occasionally. Nobody wants to sit and watch, an hour or two of this. This one will go without reaching saturation, though, I'm sure of it. It seems to be tuned right on, and I'll show you one of the things that kind of tells you that. Let's go ahead and get this started, because I can count these later. I don't have to pay attention to them right now. I've got everything set. I've got the timer set. The calibration line is set at 1.0, and the drive amplitude is set at 0.01. So this is going to take off kind of slow. It doesn't have the kind of gain that you have with the quarter wave or even the half wave, but that's what I want to do here, and I'll count the revolutions later and figure out what gain there is on it. Let's go ahead and get it started here. And like I said, I'm going to be pausing this occasionally. I won't be pausing it right now until after it reaches the calibration line, so that I can come back and count the revolutions. I'm not going to pay attention to that right now. I won't be able to count and talk at the same time. I'm not coordinated enough. Anyway, so I guess you're probably just all surprised to see that there's actually a voice talking on here. I'm not good at this, so hopefully I'll get better. But I know I don't like videos where they're not saying anything, it's just somebody pointing somewhere, and I try to let people know, read the video information, but I know what that's like. It's a lot better to hear somebody talking, especially when you're watching something like this. But boy, I don't know what else to say. So as soon as this reaches the calibration line, I'm probably going to pause it shortly after that. I should have thought of some other things to talk about. Well, this reaches the... Oh, one of the things I wanted to say was, see these node points right here? By cranking the amplitude up, you can tell whether you're in a good spot or not, because that thing will set right there on that line, okay? Except for when the wave comes by and then bounces back, it will lift off on that line, and you can almost see it. And when this gets going a little bit higher, I'll slow it down. The clock slows down with it, so that's all right. But you'll see when the wave comes by, it'll bump it off in that spot that it's riding right on, and it'll kind of float around, and you can almost see this thing turning in 3D. Like it's not going up and down, it's actually spinning around. If you look at it right now, you can kind of see that. But you can tell by how these nodes are setting right there. And this is just a good 1.5 wavelength, because they got these green balls on there every once in a while. So this is a good setting just for that. And so I ran it with the amplitude higher, and you can really tell if you're off on a frequency, if you're not right at 1.5. And the only places this is going to work is at a half wavelength, 1 wavelength, or 1.5 wavelength. In half, when you've got it on a fixed end. To run quarter wavelengths, you want to run it on loose end. I see I've reached my calibration point. Okay, I found something to talk about, so I'll keep going for a little bit. So if you want to do a quarter wavelength, you've got to switch it to loose end, because your end is going to be on the antinode. Like for sound, if you had a tube that you were had set up a resonance in, that would be an open end. For transmitting through the earth, you would use the quarter wavelength. Now you could use 3/4, you could use 1 1/4, I think, you know, as many as you want in a quarter with an open end transmitting through the earth. But on a wire, on a coil, with a fixed end, at least this is what I'm saying so far. If I could get somebody to do some testing for me, but nobody seems to want to, so I'm going to try and get some equipment, and I'm going to do some of the actual testing myself. But anyways, I'm going to pause this for a while now, and we'll get back to it in a little while. I'm going to try and make sure that I do take it off and pause when it switches from 59, minutes and 99 seconds. It's going to go back to 0. It doesn't go over 1 hour. So if I run it longer than that, I'll try and take it off pause. Last time I ran outside to take care of something, and I came back in, and it was just about to 1 hour, and I don't know if I just barely caught it, maybe. So, but if I go over an hour, I'm sure that this setting is going to go forever. It's not going to stop. And the good thing about having it on the lowest amplitude setting is that you can tell when these things, the balls start stretching off on the screen, you can kind of find one and see if it's, if it's inching towards the top or towards one of these lines. Well, yeah, I had some rulers here too. Okay, they're still where I removed them. I'll just turn them on. It just gives you some other fixed spot to watch to see if it's still increasing, because on this low of a setting, you're gonna have to watch it for a while to see it inching, going a little bit higher each time. And especially, this isn't a quarter wave, so this is a 1.5 waves. It's going to take lost my thought there. It's going to take more oscillations to increase, because the gain is not as high for anything. I think a wavelength, I haven't measured 3/4 wavelength yet to see what the gain is, but right now, half a wavelength is definitely a 3 dB gain on the driving power that is stored with every cycle, and the quarter wavelength is over 6 dB gain per cycle. But when you get, a 3/4 might be, I don't know, maybe a dB and a half a gain, I don't know. But after that, it's pretty much, it's going to store what it's doing. You're not really got a whole lot of gain. Maybe a little bit. And I think that's what most people are actually seeing on these coils when they're tuning down the frequencies and trying to find those high spots. They're just finding something with a number of nodes on it. Okay, I don't think anybody is hitting the 1 wavelength, the 3/4 wavelength, the half wavelength, or the 1/4 wavelength, especially. Well, if it's on a coil, it would be either the half wavelength or the 1 wavelength. This one on 1 wavelength, it won't tune into it real good, so the wave collapses real quick. This is really, really sensitive to tuning. I wish they would change their parameters in this thing, or give you one more digit finer on the frequency for tuning. Why they have this way down here to 1.25 hertz, I think goes to 1.5 max, and you know, like, why couldn't they make the length of the string something else? Or give you different frequencies to use. I'm not sure how they set it up, but anyways, I'm going to go ahead and pause it here for a while now, and we'll be back in a little while. Okay, we're back. I know I didn't go that long, but I was thinking about something else. See how these balls are just setting dead on that line. It's on a really good node. It's not going to matter now if I turn this amplitude up. I've already let it go to where I want to figure out what my gain is. And watch what happens when the wave goes by. You'll see it bounce. Oops, don't want to turn that one. Oh, I forgot. I might have to keep this microphone over here in front of me if my voice fades out. This is not a very good microphone. I'm just trying this for the first time, so I'm going to go ahead and crank this up a little bit, and you'll see what I'm talking about. You'll see the wave goes by, and then it'll stop, and it'll set on that. Well, there is a little bit of bounce there, though, isn't it? Let's see, I'm on fast, too. Let me turn this up a little bit more. You'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, once that reflection goes by, it should stop dead. I thought. Oh, there I go with the mic again. I thought this was a dead-on number. I might have been wrong. Alright, well, I'm going to turn this back down. Just for counting reasons. Because if I'm going to be leaving it run for a long time, it's hard to keep... Oop, gotta have at least 0.1. It's hard to tell if it's still gaining or if it's starting to collapse. If there's nothing to watch, it all goes off the screen. You know, I'll slow it down here a minute. You know, when you got everything going off the screen, you can't tell if it's still gaining. So by putting this way down to the lowest setting, then you know it's going to take longer before. If you're at a setting that is not going to reach saturation, if it's just going to continue to raise, you know, like Stan Myers said, the voltage will increase to infinity, limited only by the equipment. Now, I think Stan knew what he was talking about, you know, and he definitely understood wave theory. And I you know, a lot of you electricians out there probably think you understand the waves or something, but I'm not sure if you understand it like Stan did, and I'm sure that Tesla did too. Okay, see how that's just setting there nice and smooth? Even when this is off, if you're not tuned in good at a right spot, and the spots are, again, a quarter wave, half wave, 3/4 wave, 1 wave. Every quarter wave, you should be able to hit a spot. And in another video, I'll show you, just by kicking this off, 1/10, you know, 1/100th, I guess, isn't it? Yeah, 10th, 100th, okay. I'm rusty. Just by changing it 1 notch, you'll see that this thing, it will look like it's starting out really good with a good gain, but then you know, it'll increase a little bit and then it'll start coming back down again. It collapses. And you know, for like what people are doing with coils and stuff, they're at a frequency where, you know, what they're seeing the output is, it's an oscillation that's probably collapsing and building back and collapsing and building back, and it just looks like it's a steady output that's, reaches a saturation. I mean, this is all happening so fast that I don't think people get what's really happening. I like it when you get it on the setting where you can kind of only see when it looks straight. When the wave's coming down, it looks like a straight line. Sometimes it gives that impression on slow speed or fast speed. There it goes. You see it once in a while, like right there, a small wave. But at certain times, you will just see it like just a flat line across there. I guess it probably depends on what the amplitude is. So where that comes out sometimes. I'm not sure. That'd be one thing to kind of check out, is if there's a pattern, at different speeds, if there's some kind of a pattern that it goes through that you see, because it doesn't seem to show the same thing every once in a while. It changes a little bit. And again, that's just probably a software thing, with this program. I don't know. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and pause this again. I hope the audio's coming out. I know a couple of times I forgot. I'm sitting here holding this mic, and I got to talking, and my hand moved away and didn't realize it right away. So I'm gonna try and talk on these things, because I know they're really boring videos when people don't. But I just, that's something else I could talk about, is I don't have a camera or a mic hooked up to my computer all the time. I've been a truth seeker for a long time. I've been on somebody's shit list for a long time or something. I just, I don't even have a cell phone anymore. It's not worth it. I don't need it, That might sound crazy, but there are definitely people that they mess with out there. Nobody's, and they just want to make sure that you stay a nobody, I think, I don't know. But I don't normally have a mic hooked up or a camera or anything. I don't use a laptop. I don't use a smartphone. I even keep my Wi-Fi off most of the time. I only turn it on for my roommate. Alright, I'm gonna pause this again, and I'm sure it's gonna go and go and go. No doubt in my mind. I think it's well, I actually checked it. I mean, I didn't check it for an hour, but it's a good spot, and I know it's gonna go. I don't think it's gonna collapse. So that we'll be back in a while. Alright, we're back now. Let's slow this thing down. Alright, see, we're already getting there where, anything to watch is going to be going all off screen before long, and once it does that, you don't know, unless it starts collapsing and they start coming back into view. You don't know what it's doing. So that's all you can do, until you get to that point, is just watch, like this one here. Just pick somewhere out where, something's coming near something, and you can watch it for a few minutes and see that, yeah, it's increasing yet, and at that drive level, it's not going to be a lot. At a quarter wavelength or a half wavelength, it would be more, because the gain is a lot higher per cycle. And that's, you see what I'm talking about here now with the wobble? That's pretty solid. Especially, for this long that it's been running so far. But that's one of the things you want to watch, and it doesn't have to be these. It depends on what you're at. It just works out that way, with the way they have this set up. It'd be nice if they gave us some more options on different things, And this older app is the one where the tension in the middle, everything you do on it, it's weird. It's like it's got another vibration on the string, and I don't get that with an app. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, you guys are gonna go, before long you're gonna be going, oh my god, why is he talking on these things now? He just rants and rants and rants. But now I got a lot of things I want to talk about. So like, for one thing, I know a lot of people don't get this, and you know, if they do kind of get it, they think, well, but that, you know, that's just voltage. There's nothing there. It's not power. No, if you listen to Eric Dillard's The History of Electricity, okay, any of them, they're out there, a few different ones, and some of the same ones with different names. But you know, when they first started doing the long distance AC telephone or power lines, they were having a lot of problems, and it was from reflections, okay, and they weren't getting perfect standing waves. That's why Eric Dollard thinks it's impulses. No, it wasn't impulses. It was just standing waves that were created not perfect. Okay, so you get these spikes that are all come up all over. That's not impulses. That's random, unpredictable, and I don't know. I guess, you know, with science today, they could probably calculate some kind of random pattern out of it or something. I don't know, but you know, it's just it's not to say it's not impulses, okay? It was all from different reflections from different places that were bouncing around, some good reflection or not, and they add up. And that's why when they go to shut some of those things off, well, I'm moving my hand all around, so I don't know if I'm holding this mic close enough yet. You know, they would get these arcs, they couldn't shut them down, and they would have things blown up. There's power there. You know, this voltage is going this high. That's power. That's power. You know, and I think the whole big secret about it all is because the power, in the way Tesla wanted to do it, the current comes out at the receiving end. Okay? And they don't like that. That's one of the big reasons why they don't want this known. Okay? Because it blows the whole, you know, ideal of how they, you know, what they want you to believe energy is and how it's created. You know, there ain't no electrons, whatever they are, whether they're waves or particles, don't give a shit. Okay, it don't matter. Okay, whatever they are, they're not coming from magnets. Okay, they're coming from the ether. They just like it to look like it's coming from the generator. You know, it's not. You know, and that's what they really don't like about the Tesla thing, is that nope, I thought I heard a noise. Where was I? Shit. I don't know. Oh God. I knew I wasn't going to be good at this. Oh well, I'll get it together here before long. Anyways, let's put this back up on fast. They look pretty solid. See those nodes? They look pretty solid. So, and when you get up to this kind of amplification, and the kind of amplification that these things could get up to, you know, you're pretty much on the planet. You're going to have areas where there's, you know, a small area that's a node, and then you're going to be back into power, okay? These lines would be like going practically straight up and down. I think that these, you know, the tops of these get rounded off. They're not like triangle waves. You know, the more amplification they get, it's kind of hard to tell because it doesn't look like that way when it's collapsing down here. Oh, see, there's some straight ones right there. Anybody see them? Oh God, you guys are gonna get tired of me talking now. Anyways, I don't know how long I'm gonna run this. I'm just gonna check and see. You know, once they go off screen, I think we hit a frequency here, and if we didn't, you know, it's the tuning. I can tell you right now because I've taken this number and divided it by core. Okay, I don't know if I lost you or not. I don't know what happened here. I'm gonna pause it. Okay, I don't know why that came up. Maybe I was talking, swirling this thing around and hit something. I don't know if I did or not. It looks like it's recording, yeah. Okay, now I don't know what I was talking about again. You know, that's called getting old, people. Okay. This keep coming up. Oh. I was just going like that. Maybe I did it or something. I don't know. I don't know if I did it or not. I didn't think I did. I'm probably gonna have to end this here. And maybe probably shouldn't make this too long one, seeing as how you're hearing my voice now, because number one, I gotta get used to doing this, and number two, you're probably gonna be sick of hearing me. Alright, so I'm gonna pause it for a little while more, and we'll take it from there. Okay, we're getting to where there's almost nothing to watch here yet. It's still increasing, and you know, usually once we've gone this far, it's just gonna continue to increase. You know, or the tuning could be even finer. Who knows? Down to hundreds of thousands, you know, of hertz. Tuning, you know, and I don't know if that's just at this lower frequency, if it's that sensitive higher frequencies. If it is, I don't know, but all I know is that if you hit the right tuning, it will increase to infinity. It just doesn't stop, and that's, you know, basically why you don't need much input at all. I mean, you just don't. It's the most efficient generator and storage there is. A standing wave, it stores the energy efficiently. It doesn't have losses, you know, high losses or anything. Anyways, you know, this is not showing signs of collapsing yet, and I'm new at talking on these videos, and it's new to you guys hearing me, so I don't know if I'll leave this running or not. I got the first part that I wanted mainly was to get the exact cycles before it hit the calibration line here, which was set at 1. And I don't know why the sound thing kept coming up on the recording there. So I'm all new at this, talking on here and using this stuff, and so we'll take it from there, I guess. I'm gonna pause it again. I don't know. It might be the end of it, or if I have something else I want to say, maybe I won't end it. I'm gonna pause it for now.